discuss various aspects of the Torah, like the sabbatical and Jubilee years. We hope that you are encouraged to seek His truth more thoroughly and lay down anything that does not line up with His Word. Thanks for tuning in to our broadcast tonight, and we hope that this discussion blesses you. Shalom.
Well, shalom, man. Thanks for tuning in to Sighted Moon. My name's Mitch, and I'm here with Joseph, Krista, and our producer, Greg. And Joseph, we seem to talk about the curses in Scripture like they apply to the USA, but aren't those curses only for the Jews? What in the world do the curses of Israel have to do with all of us happy Americans?
Oh, I feel like I'm being baited here.
You might be.
I'm going to bite the hook, and he's going to reel me in, and I'm going to be in so much trouble because I kind of, just so the listeners know, Mitch kind of told me he was going to introduce me this way, and I thought, man, what's he doing? And I thought, okay, that's what he's doing. I know what he's doing. He's getting me riled up. And there's been certain things take place this week that have got me a lot hot.
A little bit or a lot?
Yes. Yes to both. Well, let's okay. I got to back up a little bit because I'm gonna sound off. So you know, Mitch, Krista, keep the reins on me here. Don't let me go too crazy. Anyway, there's been a whole lot of droughts taking place in California. Last week we've read about droughts in Alberta. The cattle are being sold off. The cattle prices are going up because of the cost of corn and the cost of hay. Hay bales in Saskatchewan are what I read, $110 a. Is that a large bale or a ton? I'm not sure what. $110 for a large bale.
Wow.
I think that's those big square ones. I'm not sure if that's the proper term for it or not. We're reading about drought in Australia again. Beef farms are being sold off en bloc because people are walking away from their farms. I got that from a brother down there tonight. Brazil, Sao Paulo is under drought and flood at the same time. And go figure that one out. But, you know, drought and flood. England is suffering droughts. And people are making fun of this. And they're saying, you know, the global warming is just it's a joke. And that Al Gore his teaching on it was a joke. And then these same people go off and start mouthing off about HAARP. And they think that HAARP is real. And that's a joke. Now that's a joke. But I'm not going down that road. I could, because you asked me, why are these curses happening to North America and not just the Jews?
Yeah.
Now Israel just come out of a drought. The Sea of Galilee was down near critical level for a long time, and they've now had enough rain in the last year to bring it back up substantially. But all these nations have one thing in common that we've just spoken of. Okay, Australia, South Africa is also in drought. They stand to lose their corn, I believe, this year. If I got that right in my memory. So, what do all these nations have in common? What's the common thread here? What the answer is going to get me riled up. I know. Go ahead.
Go for it, Krista.
No, I really don't. Not the one to ask.
The common thread. Well, I mean, it's. I don't know for sure.
Well, you guys are both afraid to say it because you know where I'm going to go after that. These are all Anglo-Saxon nations.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so Anglo is a British or is a Hebrew word for angle. And angle means heifer. And Ephraim was nicknamed Jehovah's young heifer. So that's where we get the word angle from. And Saxon is the sons of Isaac. Isaac's sons. So that two names combined together get the word Anglo-Saxon. We're going to explain why these countries are suffering these droughts. So this is not a racist show. This is not about race. But I am sure riled up because of what I saw on the internet this week about the Black Hebrews. And I've been avoiding talking about them for a long time, but I'm not going to avoid it tonight. They are the most disgusting, vile people I have come across. And they should be charged and locked up on hate crimes. This Torah that we keep is not about race. You don't have to be a certain color to get into the kingdom. But if you're a Black Hebrew and you think that that's your ticket in, then you go for it because you're an idiot. I've had more death threats, more bodily harm threats, more curses and cusses from the Black Hebrews than I have of any other group of people I've come across.
Wow.
The videos I saw this week, they're standing on the streets of, I don't know, someplace in California, threatening to rape and kill all you white honkies, all you white boys and all you white women, all you white children. We're going to kill and bash their heads, and we're going to rape your women.
Wow.
This Torah is not about race.
Yep.
I'm getting riled up. I got to just come out.
No,
It just makes me so mad because they're no different than Farrakhan's people, the black Muslims, who want to destroy and kill all white people.
It's crazy.
You know, they're feeling the repressions from the slavery in the last 100 years. That was 100 years ago. Get over it. Let's move on. People make mistakes in the past. We're going to make mistakes in the future. But right now, you can read the Torah and you can sit beside me and we're brothers. And I don't care if you're pink with purple polka dots. If you're keeping the Torah, you're my brother. And if you're keeping the Torah, whether you are adopted or native born, you are an heir with Jehovah as your father. And it doesn't matter one stinking bit what color your skin is. And it just burns my butt that people think that, you know, and these idiots don't even quote the Bible right.
Yeah.
And they certainly don't know their history. And we're going to do a little bit of history here tonight. And, you know, this is, okay, so, yeah. Mitch has reeled me in here and he's got me fired up. His question, I knew he was going to do this. But it just ticks me off.
Well, and the problem that I see is it's when you talk about Black Hebrew Israelites, you're talking about a specific movement that's out there of these people, you know, Black people, African American people who are basically claiming they are the true Israel and only them are the true Israel, and white people are going to be repaid for the slavery and the wrong that we did to Israel and all of that.
No, hang on, that we did to the Black Hebrews during the slave trade, not to Israel.
Yeah, well, by Israel I meant what their version of the true Israel is. And so that's what you're referring to, is this group of people, you know, like you said, it's not racist. We're not true Torah, true Israel is not about race. In fact, I mean, we can read that when they left Mitzrayim, Egypt, they were a mixed multitude of people.
What did Philip do when he seen the fella from Africa?
Yeah.
What nationality was he?
Ethiopian.
Okay, they're not white.
Yeah.
They're not red. They're brown. What did Philip do? He went up to him, asked him if he could help him read the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Philip disappears. Right? There's no racism there.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
These Black Hebrews that are out there causing all this stupidity, instead of cussing people out, calling people Edomites and that they're all going to roast in hell, they should be talking to them and trying to help them to understand the Bible. You know, it just makes me sick. And I've come across it. You know, we're going to talk about the 10 tribes tonight. And they are not the black Hebrews. There are blacks amongst them, but they're not dominantly black.
Yeah.
And if that bothers the black Hebrew group, then good. Grow up. Let's start reading Torah as a mature person wanting to share, because you're commanded there by Yeshua to go and preach it to all nations around the world, so that they can keep the Torah. And I've watched these people attack Chinese and Asian people. It just made me sick. It just made me sick. And they try and intimidate you by their size and by their strength and physical harm that they are going to do to you. You don't scare me. What you show me is just how stupid you are, because you don't know your scriptures, you don't know history, and you don't have a clue. And you think that your skin is going to get you into the kingdom. You really think Jehovah is that cheap, that naive, that shallow?
You know that
only people of a certain skin color can get in? Come on, give your heads a shake.
That reminds me, when you're talking there, Joseph, it reminds me of one of the passages that really spoke to me while we were just learning about Jehovah's Sabbath, his sign, his covenant on his people. It's in Isaiah 56, and it starts, well, really the whole chapter, but specifically verse 6 through 7, it says, "Also the foreigners who join themselves to Jehovah to minister to him and to love the name of Jehovah, to be his servants, everyone who keeps from profaning the Sabbath and holds fast my covenant, even those I will bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer." And it just talks about, let not the foreigner who has joined himself to Jehovah say, "Jehovah will surely separate me from his people." Nor let the eunuch say, "Behold, I am a dry tree." For thus says Jehovah, "To the eunuchs who keep my Sabbath and choose what pleases me and hold fast my covenant, to them I will give in my house and within my walls memorial." It just really talks about, anyone, foreigner, whoever that joins themselves to Jehovah to follow him, to do his, be a part of his covenant. They're a part of his people, and that's just kind of reminds me of what you're talking about. Yeah,
anyone. And spot on, Krista, spot on. I couldn't think of that before the show. That's the verse I wanted. You're right. That's 100% right. Anyone who keeps the Torah is going to be a part of that kingdom. And it's not a kingdom of hate against anyone except the one color. It's a kingdom that's inclusive of all nations, all colors, all people, as long as they keep the Torah.
Yep.
And there's another law in the Bible, the law of adoption, right? Paul talks about it in Romans, about being grafted in. You're not the roots, but you're a branch, and you're grafted in. And the branches are going to tell the roots what to do, but they're going to be nurtured by the roots.
Yeah.
And if Jehovah tore out the native branches and tossed them away, that's the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Because he kicked out the 10 tribes first, then he kicked out the Jewish tribes after. But he's now brought the Jews back in. But if he kicked out the native branches, do you think those that are grafted in won't be kicked out if they don't obey? That's what Paul's saying. Whether you're native born or grafted in, we all must obey. And once we are grafted in or native born, we are all heirs of that promise, and we are all brothers of that same family. It's the law of adoption. You're not lesser or more because of your DNA. You're not less or more because of your skin color. I've left all the comments from the Black Hebrews on the 10-tribe teaching that I've done. That is the most popular teaching that we've done, is well over 312,000 hits in just over a year now. But you can read the comments from the Black Hebrews, the death threats, the bodily harms, the name calling, the cussing, and see what great example they are for anyone who wants to join and become